Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to play through all 7 chords of the A Ionian mode on the piano so that when you play or write a song in A Ionian, you already know where to find these chords on the keyboard. And in the process, you'll also see how these chords are formed and why they sound so good. Okay, so to start, these 7 chords are all derived from the A Ionian mode, which sounds and looks like this. The notes in this pattern are A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, which we can also refer to using scale degree numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice how some of the notes are played using black keys and some are played using white keys, but that doesn't matter. What we really care about is the underlying pattern. And when we play these notes in sequence, they sound nice. Now to create chords from this pattern, all we have to do is combine every other note in groups of 3, starting on each respective scale degree to get A major, or the major 1 chord built from notes A, C sharp, and E, B minor, the minor 2 chord formed from notes B, D, and F sharp, C sharp minor, the minor 3 chord in this mode, which combines C sharp, E, and G sharp, D major, the major 4 chord made from notes D, F sharp, and A, E major, the major 5 chord, E, G sharp, and B, F sharp minor, the minor 6, formed from notes F sharp, A, and C sharp, and then G sharp diminished, or the diminished 7 chord in A Ionian, made from notes G sharp, B, and D. So by combining every other note of the A Ionian mode, 7 distinct harmonies are formed, which all sound good together because they stem from the same source pattern. And again, the A Ionian mode itself sounds like this, with each note played in sequence. And when we play these 7 chords in order, it basically sounds like the same pattern, but fleshed out. Together, these chords give us a complete set of harmonies we can use to compose different chord progressions. By moving back and forth between these chords in different patterns and arrangements, we can come up with some interesting sounds. For example, we might start at A major, the major 1, and then move to the major 4 chord, D, and then pass through E major, the major 5, before returning to A major once more. Or we could move through any of the other chords in this mode to create a lot of other progressions too. Using just these 7 chords, we have a ton of options. But what's even better is that there's even more variety in how you can play these chords using what are called inversions, or permutations of the note patterns in each chord. For example, the A major chord, major 1, is made up of 3 notes, A, C sharp, and E. And they sound good together when combined in this order. But to mix things up a little, we can also play the same chord, A major, by moving A to the top of the group like this to play the notes in this order, C sharp, E, A. This is still the A major chord, the major 1 in this mode, but played in what we call the first inversion, which sounds slightly different. And then for even more variety, we can also shift the C sharp note to the top to play the notes in this order, E, A, C sharp, to create what's called the second inversion. So in total, just this one chord, A major, can be played in 3 ways. With A at the bottom in what we call the root position, with A at the top in the first inversion, and then A in the middle in the second inversion. Likewise, we can play all of the other chords in different inversions as well. B minor, the minor 2 chord, can be arranged in these 3 ways: root position, first inversion, second inversion. C sharp minor, the minor 3, can be played like this: root position, first inversion, second inversion. D major, the major 4, can be played in root position, first inversion, second inversion. E major, the major 5, can be played like this: root position, first inversion, second inversion. F sharp minor, the minor 6, can take any of these forms: root position, first inversion, second inversion, and then G sharp diminished, the diminished 7 chord, can be played in root position, first inversion, second inversion. So these 7 chords of the A Ionian mode form a compatible set of harmonies that all sound good together since they stem from the same source pattern. And then with all of the different inversions, we have a full palette to choose from to build different chord positions, picking a certain inversion to create just the right sound, or to simplify the finger movement from one chord to the next, depending on how the progression flows. For example, if you want to play a 1-4-5-1 progression, or A, D, E, A in this case, A Ionian, you could play the chords like this. But as a result, you have to move your hand a lot. The motion is pretty mechanical and takes extra time. So to make things more fluid, to simplify the finger movement from one chord to the next, you can play the same 1-4-5 progression like this. By using different inversions, my hand barely shifts at all as I go. In this example, I played the 1 chord in root position, the 4 chord in second inversion, the 5 chord in first inversion, and then back to the 1 chord in root position. So instead of root position, root position, root position, root position, I played root position, second inversion, first inversion, root position. It's the same chords, just a lot easier to play. And the same idea applies to the other chords too. In fact, there's a formula you can use to play all of the chords of A Ionian, starting with the major 1 in root position that goes like this. R means the chord is in root position, 1 means it's played in first inversion, and 2 means second inversion. In sequence, the pattern is root position, second inversion, first inversion, root position. So A major, the major 1 is in root position, B minor, the minor 2 is in root position, C sharp minor, the minor 3 is in second inversion, D major, the major 4 is in second inversion, E major, the major 5 is in first inversion, F sharp minor, the minor 6 is in first inversion, G sharp diminished, the diminished 7 chord is in root position, back to A major, the major 1 in root position. It takes some practice to move your fingers back and forth between these chords, but once you understand and can see the logic, you can get a feel for it pretty quickly because it's all just patterns. And what's really cool is that the same basic idea applies when the major 1 chord begins in a different inversion, not the root position. For example, if we play the major 1 chord in first inversion, the formula for the chords is this. First inversion, root position, second inversion, first inversion. On the keyboard, this is what it looks like. A major, the major 1 is in first inversion. B minor, the minor 2 is in first inversion. C sharp minor, the minor 3 is in root position. D major, the major 4 is in root position. E major, the major 5 is in second inversion. F sharp minor, the minor 6 is in second inversion. G sharp diminished, the diminished 7 chord is in first inversion, back to A major, the major 1 in first inversion. Together, these inversions of the chords form another set that you can use to swiftly move from one to the next. And then finally, when the major 1 chord begins in second inversion, the formula looks like this. Second inversion, first inversion, root position, second inversion. Again, on the keyboard, here's what these chords look like. A major, the major 1 is in second inversion. B minor, the minor 2 is in second inversion. C sharp minor, the minor 3 is in first inversion. D major, the major 4 is in first inversion. E major, the major 5 is in root position. F sharp minor, the minor 6 is in root position. G sharp diminished, the diminished 7 chord is in second inversion, back to A major, the major 1 in second inversion. Granted, all of these different finger positions can seem like a lot, but really it's just 7 basic chords, all derived by combining every other note of the A Ionian mode. And then by playing different permutations or inversions of these chords, we can move between the various finger positions more easily. So it's just simple patterns we're using here, but played in different ways to expand our palette, giving us more options as we move around the keyboard. To help you really get a feel for each of these chords and all of the different inversions, I'm going to show some diagrams next that you can use to pause the video, take a screenshot of each, and then refer to at your own pace as you play through each of these patterns on your keyboard. This first one shows 2 octaves of the A Ionian mode, or the A major scale, along the top, with the gray vertical lines representing the black keys on the keyboard. And as you go from top to bottom, you can play the A major chord, major 1, B minor chord, minor 2, and so on, where each chord is just formed by playing every other note of the A Ionian mode. Here, each chord is just displayed in root position. This next diagram shows all of the same chords, but with A major, the major 1, in root position, and then the formula, the inversion formula along the left there, that shows how you can shift between chords more easily with limited finger movement. And then this diagram shows the same 7 chords, but with the A major chord, major 1, in first inversion, and the chord formula along the left showing the finger positions to ease the motion between chords. And then this diagram shows A major, the major 1, in second inversion, with the finger positions for all of the other chords respectively. So these are the chords of A Ionian. Definitely play all of these patterns and inversions to get a good feel for each one. And thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.